Okay, if you're new to Elden Ring or you're jumping back into the game but you want to sort of get a little bit powerful a bit early, then let me show you my very quick and easy beginner's guide to getting a head start in Elden Ring. And it starts with our character creator, and we're going to start with the Samurai class. Now for a name, pick anything. We have always Dengs, of course, and welcome to the channel. And for a keepsake, we're going to take the Golden Seed. From here, we're going to jump into the game. Now if this is your first time playing, you'll notice you start in this area here, and we're just going to leave the double doors. And if you are familiar with Souls games or you're not familiar with Souls games, then let me explain to you, nearly every Souls game that I know of starts with an unbeatable, well I say unbeatable, with an enemy far superior to you that is aimed to kill you. And that is no different with this one, and it's the Grafted Scion here. So if you lose to this enemy here, do not worry, it is essentially meant to happen. It takes very, very, very good and skilled players, unlike myself, to defeat this early in the game. But use this as a chance to get used to your Uchigatana. Now I'm skipping all the story beats because if you have played the game, you're obviously going to know them, and if you haven't, I don't want to ruin anything. But once you die, you will end up in this cave here. It's really simple, we're just going to exit through the doors here. We'll go straight, and there's an elevator that will take us to the top. And you can see just here, nice and simple, grab the Lost Grace if you want to. Grab any items you come across as well. Some of them are for multiplayer, as you just saw. Depends if you want to do a multiplayer run, if you want to do PvP, anything like that. But take the elevator all the way to the top. Okay, and then we exit through the double doors, and you get your first glimpse at the lands between. And just take in how stunningly pretty Limegrave is. Now next point of call is we're going to hit this Lost Grace here. You may talk to the lovely person here if you want to. He's going to tell you that you've got no bitches.
Of course, unfortunately for you, however, you are maidenless.
See?
Without you are fake.
And we're going to push forward, and we're aiming for that church right ahead of us. Ideally, you want to avoid the Tree Sentinel. Again, another very hard enemy who, in my first playthrough, I ran straight to, and he walloped me. Okay, once you have made it to the church here, make sure you grab any and all items you need. And we're going to head inside, and we're going to trigger the next bonfire, or Lost Grace. And now this is very important, we're going to come up here and we're going to speak to Carle the Merchant. And we're going to ask about Carle. Just like that. And we're going to grab our Strengthened Armaments 2. This allows us to upgrade our weapons, and we'll get to that a bit later. Now from here, we're going to venture this way. We're going to follow the path out here, and we're just going to go straight this way. Now there are a few enemies here, so you can take them out if you want to, or you can just avoid them. I would recommend taking them out, just because a few little extra souls, and it helps you really understand the mechanics of the game. And again, use this as a way to get used to whatever build you chose, or if you want to play around a little bit with the samurai, use it to get used to this, get used to sneaking and backstabbing like this. Figure out if you like one-handing or two-handing, using a shield, etc. All the fun stuff like that. Me personally, I quite enjoy two-handing weapons. I like the increase in damage, and I also find it makes me a little bit more conscious of just how careful I need to be when it comes to tackling these enemies. So once you've taken out these enemies here, and you've gotten to this little camp here, we're going to come up here and go this way. And we're just going to run here, and you'll see there is another encampment here, which we're going to completely avoid. And we're just going to go straight, and we're aiming for that Lost Grace you can see just there by the castle gates. Okay, once you touch this, we're going to be greeted with another cutscene. So make sure you grab it and you rest. And we're going to skip through the dialogue with Melina. Obviously accept her offer. And this whistle we now have is very important. This is our mount. So make sure you take this.
Use it will.
And from here we're going to use our first charge that we took as our opening gift, our golden seed, to increase the number of flasks we can use. And there you go. Now that we have done that, we're going to open our map. And we're going to fast travel back to the first one we had. And right here, through the same exit we took to get over to there, is my dear lovely Ranni. So we'll talk to her. You're going to tell her that we can call the spectral seed, which is what we just got from Melina. And then she'll give you this, a spirit calling bell and the lone wolf ashes. And these are effectively some summons you can do. So now we're going to kit ourselves out. So we're going to open our equipment. And we're going to pop in our mount, which is the spectral steed whistle. And we're going to take our lone wolf ashes. And now the lone wolf ashes, I will show you.
Forgive mine intrusion.
We'll come back to here, to the gate front where we were. And I'm just going to show off how this is. Now this only works in certain areas. It only works when the little symbol in the bottom is lit up, as you can see now. And you can change these throughout the game. You can pick up new ones, whatever. But the starting ones are 3 wolves. And what you see is the wolves will start fighting people. So if we just start some fights. And obviously, if you are trying to do this ASAP, you don't need to do this. This is purely just for demonstration for new players. But we're trying to get our wolves into the fight here to start doing some damage to people. And there you go, they have started fighting. And they'll do this until they die. And as you can see, you have 3 wolves here. What I would do though is I would collect the map piece that you find in here. Doesn't matter if you die or not, just run in, grab the map piece and get out. Now that we've done that, the next point of call we need to do is we're going to jump on a horse, we're going to come to safety up here. Just here. And essentially we're going to follow this pathway before getting to about this point here. And then turning up this way. So we're going to place a marker just here at the fork of the road. Mine says number 2 now. And we're going to make our way over. And if you find it easier, run through here, that's fine. Run through the enemies, just avoid them. You can press circle to dash on the horse. And we're just going to come this way. Now please bear in mind, if you do come at night time, there is an extra boss here that you might not want to fight. I'm going to make it morning. And now the boss should be gone. Now once you've picked up that lost grace, we're going to come back this way and we're going to follow this path and we're going to go over the bridge. And once you get to the bridge, make sure you pop over here and just try and grab this item here. A nice little smithing stone 1. Alright, now that we've got to our fork in the road, we're going to turn down this path here and effectively go and follow this until we get to the woods. So really nice simple, just follow this path you can see on the floor. And you can see we are approaching the woodland area here, which is what we wanted. Now to make your life easier, as long as there are no enemies following you, open your map, and these little markers you can see here are the map pieces. We're going to grab hold of this, and this is going to tell us roughly what direction we want to go. I'd also suggest, because there are some high level enemies in this, mainly bears, just grab the Lost Grace that's just in front of you. Just help yourself out. And then jump back on your horse and we're going to run through. Essentially you want to avoid the bears and you want to get the map piece ASAP and then just leave. That's all you want to do. Because that is how hard the bears will hit you. They aren't to be messed with, especially early game. Now we're going to grab this map piece here, just like that. And that gives us access to our map. Now what we need to do is we need to de-aggro the bears, which we can do. And then once they're de-aggroed, I'll show you where to go next. Okay, once you have the map piece, get back to the Lost Grace we just got on the outskirts. And there's 2 areas we are going. Number 1, we need to go this way. And number 2, we need to go here. So we're going to start with this one. So we're going to mark out number 1 here. And there's one thing we're looking for, and that is some whistling. So we're going to jump on a horse. And we're going to venture forth, and we're going to try and hear a werewolf whistle. Okay, so I don't know if you just heard it, but there is the werewolf whistling inside the Mistwood ruins here. And now that we have come here, on our map, it's actually marked out. And it's Blythe the half-wolf that we're after. Now, because we've effectively done that, we're going to end up going this way. So mark this little rectangle here, and that is our next point of call. And as you can see, it's pretty much a straight line. You can essentially follow this road here. And that's what we're going to do. Okay, so keep following the road round. And sooner or later, you're going to stumble across a church. You can see our markers here, and this church is really, really important because this is what's going to give us one of our best healing or buffing items, and that is the Flask of Wondrous Physic. So again, jump in here, the third church in America, and come to this statue here, and we grab the Sacred Tear, and then we're going to jump in here and we're going to take this. And that is the Flask of Wondrous Physic, as well as the Crimson Crystal Tear. And then touch the Grace to trigger this one. Just like this. Now we're going to rest at the site of Grace here. And there's a few things we can do. Number one, we're going to get the Flask, we're going to increase the amount, and this uses the Sacred Tear we just picked up. So now our healing potions do a little bit more. We're then going to come to the Mix of Wondrous Physic, and we're going to put in our new Crimson Crystal Tear. Now this restores half the total HP in the Mixed Physic. And there's 2 slots in this, and for this one you can actually put in loads of different combinations. There's some that do like extra defense when your health is low, some that buff attack, some that buff statuses. Lots of really good effects you can put in. Now you can talk to Melina here if you want to. And then once we've done this, we're going to open up our map again. We're going to remove our marker here, and we're going to come all the way back to Carle here at the Church of Ella. And then once you're here, we're going to speak to Carle here.
Wait. Well, you'll...
And he's now got a new effect about talk about the howling in Mistwood. So we're going to hit this. And he's going to give you this finger snap ability.
Goodbye.
Now we're going to come into our gestures here. I would personally remove everything possible. And we're just going to effectively put in our one jester. And now to do this, it's really simple. We'll just come over here and we'd go like that to confirm it. So just put it into a slot, and then you can just confirm doing it. And now we have to double back on ourselves a little bit. And to do that, we're going back to the Mistwood ruins here. So again, mark it on your map, fast travel to the outskirts, and we're going to jump on a horse and we're going to make the same journey again. And this time we're going to snap our fingers at Blythe the Half-Wolf, who is possibly the best character in the game in my opinion. And what I like to do is to be nice and safe, essentially look up and see a tall pillar with someone on top of it. And as you can see, Blythe, if we can tilt the camera up, is just there at the top. So we're going to come in here and we're going to do our gesture. And this will summon him. Just like that. Okay, he is now essentially sending you to fight a boss. But the best thing is, he will help you fight the boss, and it will reward you with possibly the most OP early stage game. Now to find this boss, where the Mistwood Ruins are here, if you've got the map piece in the first bit, it's this little slot here. So again, we're going to take our first marker off, and we're going to come over here. And to do this, very simple, we're going to follow this path here. So come to the Agile Lake North. You should have got this before travelling this way. So we're going to come here. We're going to make sure we face the right way. We're going to jump on Torrent, our lovely steed, and we're going to make the journey. You can grab this Lost Grace on the journey if you wish. I would recommend it personally. And you'll get to this Evergoal here, and nice and simple, we're just going to jump into it. And so bring us here. Now on the right hand side you'll see this orangey thing on the floor. This will summon Blythe, the Half-Wolf. So get him in the fight, And what we're going to do is we're going to let Blythe do as much damage as
No
possible.
true justice. No. This is where it ends for you.
So run towards the blue light and leave and let Blythe do his thing. As you can see, Blythe is an absolute beast. Now you can get your attacks in if you want to, as and when, but bear in mind the enemy does hit very hard. So bear that in mind, and if it aggroes onto you, it will hurt a lot. Blythe will heal himself up, so if you need to pull aggro, do so. But try to avoid fighting the enemy as much as possible. And there you go. This is now giving you one of the best early stage weapons possible, the Bloodhound's Fang. And this will automatically teleport you out of the Evergoal. Just like that. Now you will find Blythe waiting for you here. Go and talk to him again. He'll give you a Somber Smithing Stone too, and this is what you need to upgrade your Bloodhound Fang as you go through the game. Now from there, we can go to our equipment, and we can put the Bloodhound Fang in. It will tell you that you're not able to lift it yet, so just two-hand it. And this is a crazy good weapon, as you can see. Lots of good damage. It has a great R2 attack, and it will cause a lot of bleed as well as you go through the game. Okay, once you have dealt with Deverley and Blythe, we're going to open our map up. If I press the right button, we're going to place two markers, one on this ridge here. So essentially, find the bridge, follow the curve a little bit, and you want this little half circle here. Put one marker here, and then put another one roughly here. And I'll show you what we're looking for when we get down there. But let's make the journey, so let's grab Torrent. And again, you can basically follow the path, and it will take you where you need to go. And once you see your little symbol up on the cliff, you're going to curve around here, and we're just going to follow it around. Optionally, you can come in here and you can grab this item quick, if you so wish. Again, it's more multiplayer stuff, you don't have to. But we want to be on top of the ridge, and we're aiming for that little sort of cross section here. I'm going to pick up this item, the Gold Pickle Found Foot. Now that we've done that, we're going to jump off the cliff here, facing our next marker. I'm just going to go straight. And in this area, we're looking for a random chair with a person, just here. Now, unfortunately, I already picked it up by accident, but this will have a Somber Smithing Stone 1, and what this does is ties into what Blythe just gave us, and allows us to upgrade our weapon twice. Now, once you've done them, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to fast travel back up to the Third Church of Marika. And in this pool of water here, next to you, just about here, is a little teleportation device, which we're going to grab hold of. And this is where the Gold Pickle Foul Foot will now come into play as well. Now, please be warned, the area we're about to go to is a very, very high level and very, very dangerous. So try and follow the steps here as best as possible to ensure your safety. And you're looking for this little stream here and this teleporter here. This is going to load you into Grey Doll's Dragon Barrow, and as you can see there's a big enemy here, so do not aggro it, do not walk down the stairs yet. What we are going to do is jump on Torrent, and we're going to go straight, and that's all you need to worry about, is just to go straight. And you'll see there's a little golden tree just in the background here. That is our next point of call. That is your first placement marker. So we're going to grab the golden seed. Again, this is good for our flask, and we're just going to keep going straight, avoiding as many people as possible. Now to the right hand side you will see this bridge here. That is another thing we're aiming for. That is when you know you're going in the right direction. And I would suggest grabbing this Lost Grace and try not to worry about the dragon. Which I'm sure is easier said than done, but try not to worry about it. Now once you trigger this Lost Grace, Melina will start talking to you.
Forgive me.
And you're going to go to the round hole table quick.
Very well, let my hand.
Okay, once you're here, make sure you talk to everyone, do all the usual stuff, but what we really want to do is we want to come in here and we want to talk to our lovely blacksmith. And we're going to strengthen our armament, and this is what we want. So Somber Smithing Stone 1 will increase our Bloodhound Fang, and then we're going to do it again. And now we have a +2 Bloodhound's Fang, which is great for the early game. Now from here we're going to exit the Table of Lost Grace, and we're going to come all the way up to this little marker where we were, the Farum Great Bridge. Make sure you're two-handing your weapon, and if possible, we're going to go over the bridge. Now it should be very straightforward and easy to do. Make sure you've got your dash on torrent. You can tell when your guy sort of jiggles a little bit. But we're just going to run straight over the bridge, and we should be in no danger of being attacked. It should be pretty easy to go over the bridge, to be honest. Just make sure you keep pressing circle every so often to make sure you're sprinting. And effectively, we are now safe because we're over the bridge. So we're going to follow the path again, curving all the way around, and just keep going straight. This will let you into this lovely little lightning area. And then once you've gotten here, we're going to turn slightly this way, and you want to make sure you jump over this bridge. It will say minor Erdtree, you can ignore that for now. And we're going to keep going straight through these giant broken pots here. Now once you get to the end here, the last one, you'll see this little spring step here. You cannot miss it, so make sure you jump up on this. This only works with your horse, and just land in any direction possible. Now what you're aiming for is the giant castle here in the background, because by here is a Lost Grace. So make your way through. It should be by this little fiery wall here, and there you go. So make sure you now grab this one. Just like that. And now we're going to go to our equipment. We are going to put the gold pickled foulfoot in here. And this white thing you can see in front of you with the spikes is actually a dragon you can kill. But it will not attack you. And it's got a load of health. So that's why we now have our bleed weapon, our Bloodhound Fang. And we're going to keep chipping away at the enemy. Now once the enemy is almost dead, then you will pop your gold pickled foulfoot, because this will give you extra runes per kill. Now I will be speeding this up because this is going to take a while. And if you wish, you can do this with the Uchigatana as well, as you can see here. And this will also deliver bleed once it triggers. And as you see, we just did a bunch of bleed damage because the health bar took a massive hit. And that's when you know the bleed effect has triggered on the enemy. And again, just there you see we did a bunch of damage, which means the bleed effect kicked in. Okay, so you do have to time it right, but once the enemy is pretty low on health and you've got your bleed building up, pop your gold pickle foulfoot. And you're going to keep attacking until it dies. Just like that. And what this is going to do is give you extra runes for killing the giant dragon. And there you go, you'll see we got a huge amount of them. Just like that. What you can also do is then come in here and you can pop any of these little runes you have here if you choose to. So we'll pop some of these. Just like that. We'll pop some of these. And then we can come to our Lost Grace here. And we can start leveling ourselves up. And there's so many options. Again, we can now add a charge to our flask, thanks to the one we picked up on the route. And what I would suggest is coming to your equipment, checking your Bloodhound Fang, so we know we need 18 strength and 17 dex. So for now, I would focus purely on the dex, because the strength you can two-hand, and it will half the amount. So we're going to come here, we're going to level our dex to 17, and then the rest I'd put a load into vigor like that. Maybe bump your strength up a little bit, more dex. And it's like akin to this, where you've got a load of vigor, strength, and dexterity. Pop that into here just like this. And what you'll now notice is your weapon will do an insane amount of damage. So So for example, if we were to come into a fight, let's come all the way over to... where is it? Here. So let's come to this one here, the gate front. And effectively, we're sort of doubling back on ourselves a little bit. We're going to end up in this sort of like foresty area here where we first started killing people. So place a marker like here. And there's a boss fight you can do in here. Once we get a horse, inside a cave. So let's go this way and I'll just show you off how good this early stage build is. Bearing in mind we've not beaten any of the main bosses yet. So let's focus on this one. Show off just how much damage we now do. And there you go. It's a huge amount. One shot on that one. And this is the cave you're doing. It's just in front of this little fireplace here. And this is another way of just getting some very early, easy runes. So you can come in here, grab the Lost Grace, get your Lone Wolf Ashes available if you want to, or you can just have your healing potion. Now bear in mind there will be a bunch of wolves in here. You can take them out if you want to. I would for the runes personally. Because now that we've powered ourselves up, they are very, very fragile. And because of the reach of the Bloodhound's Fang, you can kill things, or multiple things I should say, in one hit. Loot the cave, as such, in case you want to do some crafting. Crafting in my opinion isn't essential, but explore this cave fully. Grab anything you might need. And just to the left here, you'll find one lone wolf with a corpse here. And we're going to follow this pathway down here. And now what we can do is we can pop our Flask of Wondrous Physic to heal ourselves up. We can get our Lone Wolf Ashes available if you want to. And there you go, we can summon them, get them in the fight. We've got a lovely weapon here, and you'll see just how much damage we now do. Coupled with the bleed, coupled with stagger, and it is a crazy amount. And again, more easy runes for us. We now have a Fire Drake Talisman, which is always helpful, because it now negates fire damage. And it's as easy as that. And again, we can level up, so we're just going to come to a random church. And we can put some more levels into something. So, why not do, I don't know, strength. Put one into strength, get it up to 18. And now we should be able to one-hand this sword very easily now. Let's find out. Yep, there you go. We can now one-hand this weapon as effectively as possible now. So if you wanted to, you could couple this with a shield, depending on how you like to play your games. Pop this in here. So we get our shield out. Now we can block. We can do that. We still fast roll, which is always nice. But essentially, in the space of maybe an hour, hour and a half, depending on how slow you've taken it, how methodical you've been with it, we have a +2 weapon with a bunch of extra health, huge damage output, and we're ready to have a nice early start with the game. Now there's other ways you can buff this up. You can get other talismans quite early on that will help, or whatever. But as a new player, or someone that just wants to jump into the game, get a little bit of a head start, this is the quickest and most effective and efficient way, I think, of doing so. So if you've enjoyed, please drop the episode a like, it helps me amazingly. If you're new and you're not subscribed, you'd like to, that'd also be amazing, and hopefully, I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.